What do police hotlines and glory holes have in common?
I don't know, Tom.
I don't know.
That they both rely on anonymous tips.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
Good evening, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another episode of GayTalk 2.0, an LGBT podcast, streaming live on our YouTube channel for our Patreon supporters on the day of recording, which means today. And happy spring, or at least that's what it feels like when you're out and about today. It was like almost 50 degrees, and I was living for it. Anyway, my name is Tom. I'm your host, and as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing co-host, starting with the first one.
Hey, y'all, Nick or Trish.
And
J-Bear, a.k.a. your boyfriend's boyfriend.
And welcome you back to another episode of our show. We're excited to be here, and we're queer. And I guess the question I have for you folks is, what did you think about today? Teaser, 50. It was 51 degrees today.
I mean, I was in the office all day, so
Oh, it was glorious.
it was nice not to wear a jacket.
Yeah.
No, it was. I'm hoping. So I know we're going to get a little cold spell coming back here in the in northeast or in
Yeah,
New
I think
England.
we're supposed to get wet tomorrow. So
Really?
yeah,
On purpose?
yep.
So I think we're supposed to get a little snow and then it turns into water or whatever. So,
Yeah, no,
but
yeah.
Sunday and Monday is going to go down to like the teens.
Yeah.
So that was a teaser. I was like, come on, Mother Nature.
I mean, that's what happens, though.
Don't do that. Yeah, if you live in New England and you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes. It'll change.
Uh-huh.
It's usually what happens.
For
But-
sure.
Yeah, so hopefully wherever you are listening from and joining us on today's episode and broadcast, I hope that you guys are having great weather. I'm anticipating summer. I cannot wait for the cookouts and,
I just can't wait for my summer body.
I know it's going to look so fabulous. So speaking of that, Trish, how are you? What's going on?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good.
All is well?
Yeah. I had to work on Saturday, and then Sunday was a lazy day. So you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's patiently waiting on her $5,000 refund from Elon Musk.
Yeah, I hear it's coming on the 31st of this month.
Yep.
I will not hold my breath.
Can I just say, I'm sitting in my office today, and I'm just thinking to myself, all right, so all of these MAGA people, they're all fine with a non-elected official going into the U.S. Treasury, getting all of our personal information, transferring it to a private server. But imagine
Meanwhile-
if this happened during Biden's reign.
But meanwhile, her emails on a private
Meanwhile,
server.
their emails, yeah. But there would be a fucking uproar if this was going. But then, meanwhile, all MAGA, they're like, no, it's good.
No,
He's saving. He's cutting dollars. He's saving his life. Blah 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 blah. I was like,
It
don't
happened
throw up in my
again.
mouth.
These Apple,
Shut your screen.
I can't. Apple, stop. But here's what irks me, right? So ever since he took office, the whole thing was, undocumented immigrants are coming here, stealing our jobs, and blah 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 blah, and they shouldn't be here. You send them back, not realizing that this demographic of people that are here, whether they're here legally or illegally, contribute significantly to our economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole focus has been on they're here to take our jobs, blah whatnot. Not realizing that Elon Musk literally is gutting the federal government. He is taking more American jobs right now away from Americans.
And he's not American.
Than any
And illegal.
And he's not an American.
or any person that is here, undocumented. And I'm like, what a fucking that is an oxymoron if it ever was one. And I'm just like, holy shit. Things are getting crazy, and I don't know. I don't even know what to think anymore.
I will say, in lighter news, this week we had Connecticut clap back a bit.
I know you were telling us, you sent us something in an email.
Yeah, so basically what happened was the Connecticut state legislature put forward a new bill that got reviewed and voted on in the House and the Senate Monday, Tuesday. It passed in both the House and the Senate, so now it's going to be at the governor's desk, has to be signed into law. Pretty sure he'll do it. There has been whispers that he might not. However,
He better.
What this does, what this bill does, is it provides emergency funding for a lot of organizations, health and human service organizations around the state of Connecticut that could be affected by federal funding and provide essential services to Connecticut state residents in a multitude of communities. And now you could sit here and say, yeah, that money could go toward homelessness or food hunger throughout the state, but a lot of these agencies do those things already. The current administration, when you consider that they are providing $62,500 in funding this year, to additional funding this year to IRIS, which, if you don't know what IRIS is, it's an immigrant refugee service here in New Haven. As you know,
Right.
we're a sanctuary city, and they actually bring immigrants in here so that they can go through the process and legally become a part of society, but also become a productive part of society.
Right.
They give them the tools they need. They, help them find housing. And all of these immigrants that come here have to, they're all documented correctly. They all have to pay taxes and all of that stuff on their way to citizenship. So that's just one of many. In addition, a few hospitals. And then there was a few LGBTQ organizations throughout Connecticut. So the Triangle Community Center, the Queer Youth Program of Connecticut, Kids in Crisis, Alca, Connecticut, Bridgeport Pride Center, P-Flag Enfield, Peer Pride, The World, Health Clinics. And in addition to that, the New Haven Pride Center, who has a huge footprint and huge impact in the LGBTQ plus community, providing so many different services, from the food pantry to the clothing closet to social services and youth work and working with DCF, and they do so much for the LGBTQ plus community. Right. They were could be awarded $225,000.
Certain states start doing, the hard work and making sure that we're supporting our communities, whether it's ours or other communities as well. But it's also very alarming and concerning to see that there are 2 states already that actually are fast tracking bills at the state level to overturn Obergefell versus Hodge.
Oh, yeah.
And, I believe Idaho is one of those states that wanted to do it. A senator in the state of Michigan also introduced a bill to do the same.
I'm sorry, but he looks like he's got a Grindr account.
Yeah, you never know. Either that or a Sniffies.
No, I don't. No. Oh, you're not talking about me.
No. But actually, I'm sorry. We jumped right in and completely forgot about Jay. Jay, how are you?
Going. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm
What?
good. I'm
You don't
logging
want
off my Grindr account. No.
Oh, no. Nasty. I cannot with you.
It's been a full moon.
Full
type
moon to
of
say the
day,
least.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's been a shit show.
yeah. I'm still having issues with my mouse over here. I can't get it to go back to my computer. It is stuck on the iPad. Fucking shit. No. No, but because I should be able to control it from here, and it's again stuck over here. So I'm over it.
Okay.
No.
Might be some Wisteria Lane jizz on it.
Oh, you never know. It's freaking crazy to think that
Wisteria Lane.
it hasn't even been what, January 21st, was it? It's a little over a month, a little over 30 days, and the madness. Like, there is still room in the clown car, and there's more to come, and we have to deal with this for another 3 years and 11 months.
You know, it's funny though. I have seen and feel that a lot of Republican legislators slack and push back.
Right. Well, think about, like, for example, you have one state where over a good 60% of the employees employed in that state are government employees. That's all gone away. I believe it's the state of Montana.
Did you get my email though?
Did I get your email?
Yeah.
What? You getting
to
fired?
support the center?
No. I was just double checking with our intern. I wanted to know what 5 things you did today.
Oh, I actually emailed. I sent about six emails to that email address. And I said, today I had coffee. Today I had a very, very lovely conversation with friends. And I'm planning right now my 5 things for tomorrow. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Regards, the Queen. And I sent it off.
Oh my God.
I love it. And I'm still like reporting the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
Like consistently. I send like a good 20 or 30 of them a day. Listen, I got all day and all time to be petty all day long. I was like, whatever.
It's just crazy to me that people that I thought were
we might lose sponsorship.
Hey, listen. But yeah, that's where we're at. And you know, for me, it's been quite a challenging week. You know, we had I had disclosed the week prior about my mother's cancer diagnosis, and we had a in-depth conversation of the feeling of hearing something like that and having that rock your world, and then going through the motions of trying to get navigating the medical system and the services available and the hospital. And why I applied for FMLA, right? And so if you're not familiar with the Family Medical Leave Act, it is a federal act that protects you, right, from retaliation from employers for taking time off to care for yourself, for a loved one, a parent, or someone that you get approved for. But oh my God, the hoops that you have to fucking jump through to fill out paperwork at a time of distress and despair, and just to like have it all set in place to make sure that you're okay, so that you can
just to be a caretaker,
just to focus on the important things. I'm beside myself. And not only that, it's like realizing, okay, my mother also, being, that she is elderly at this point. I mean, she's 67, so she qualifies for certain services. Like, for example, in-home care, they'll have somebody come in and spend time with her, help her clean, things like that. So that she's not by herself at home when I can't be there, or my brother's not there, or family members are not there. And calling these agencies, I'm like, I'd rather just poke both my eyes out right now, like on live camera.
It's a process.
Well, and then they just passed the...
And then you have to do an intake, which is a whole other fucking process.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, this is disturbing.
Well, you're also... Is your mom on Medicaid or Medicare?
Yes.
And now with the new budget that was just passed, they're slashing Medicare.
Right.
Medicaid.
And that is very... I got my mouse back.
You know what I think it is, honestly? Was it last week that this happened to you, or was it the week that I was using the computer?
Last week when you were... Oh, yeah. He was
it was last week.
It might be because he's using the computer.
That's
and
okay.
Might still be...
I'm just happy I got my mouse back.
All right, I'm just going to turn off the Bluetooth to see if that helps.
No.
But anyway.
So if you're going through, what I'm going through, where, now you're trying to navigate a parent with cancer and trying to, figure out what to do, how to do, who to talk to, if you plan to be the primary person to bring your parent or your loved one to appointments or to treatments or to, help her navigate the system and make phone calls and blah, whatnot. And it does plan to take you out of work for a bit or take time off, whether that's an hour a day or an hour here and an hour there or 4 hours. I highly encourage that you go through that process, however painful it is, to apply for FMLA, because let me tell you, it's been quite. And I'm a smart person. Like, I can navigate this bitch. You see the look she gives me?
What?
Like, I'm a very technically savvy person, even though, I'm the intern and blah, whatnot. And I've interrupted looking for my mouse, I interrupted the broadcast like twice. I'm a very technically savvy person. I'm very good at being able to look for resources online and things like that. And, and I can move, I can do things, right? And it was daunting. It was really, really, for me, very disparaging, the fact that you have to spend so much time at a point in time where you really should be focusing on the illness and on the person, making sure that they're comfortable, spending hours doing this type of shit.
Well,
They need to make it easier. There has to be a better way, and then the other side of that too is, like, when you disclose something like that so publicly, like on the show, receiving the messages of love and hope from listeners who may have themselves been through something similar. I got a personal message on my Instagram account from someone who listens to the show. I won't say their name, but their partner was diagnosed with cancer as well, and he was telling me that sometimes you have to be the strong individual, but there were many times throughout the day where he would find himself in enclosed spaces when he was by himself, just breaking down. And it's very similar. Like, I can't afford to break down, right? And so
you can, but you just need to do it in your time,
in
your space,
in my space, strategically, because I don't want to cause her any.
Right. You wouldn't want to do that in front of her, right?
Right.
And I get that, but don't feel like you can't.
Oh, no. I can. I just can't in front of, like, let's say my siblings. Like, I'm here telling them, like, you really need to be more conscious about how you're processing your emotions in front of her, because this affects her, right?
And she doesn't need to be sitting there comforting you now.
Right. You need to be supporting her. And so if you need to break down, you need to go for a drive. Lock yourself up in a room,
Come over to my house for a beer. We can sit there, commiserate, and cry.
Right. And but don't do it in front of her, right? And because I think that the most important part of the battle is keeping a very positive, optimistic, and hopeful attitude, right? That helps, and it goes a long way in allowing the body to heal. And I believe wholeheartedly that is very beneficial for people going through that. But yeah, so to the listeners that have taken the time to go on Insta and reach out to me, and this particular individual, thank you so much. It means so much that you took the time out of your day to send over words of encouragement and well wishes. It was wonderful to hear from all of you, and Mama Kim, of course, reached out, and I would expect no less from her,
of course.
But yeah, and that's where I stand this week. And, she's scheduled for another chemotherapy treatment in about 2-3 weeks, somewhere around March 13th or so. It's a Thursday. And, we'll get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. She'll sit in a chair. They'll plug her in, and she just has to sit there for 5 or 6 hours and go through that process. Mm-hmm. But, overall, she's in good spirits. I was showing the boys. She sent me a picture yesterday. So she proactively cut all her hair off. She was like, if I'm going to lose it, I'm just going to go for it. Mm-hmm. And she did it. What was it that you said? She's what?
What did I say? A badass?
She's a badass, a goat, or a boss or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. She is. She totally is. I think she's taking it in stride, right? And she has a very positive attitude, and that's important, And, her sisters have been coming up, driving up from New York and spending time with her. And so, all is well for now.
That's awesome.
And we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to all the craziness. Like I said, the clown car is not yet full. And some shakeups happened. MSNBC. Have you read about that? So apparently MSNBC has fired almost all of their broadcasters of color. Katie Fang, Joy Reid, couple of other people, and Rachel Maddow was not having it.
Well, I'm waiting for them to fire her.
Good luck. She's the highest paid like news broadcaster in the fucking U.S.
I know, but
Good luck. Which is why she had the audacity, right? So Alex Wagner, I think Katie Fang and Joy Reid are all gone. All of these women of color that had primetime shows on MSNBC are gone. And she minced no words when she went up there and said, that this was not okay. And for someone who is a Caucasian woman, a lesbian no less, has the highest paid, she is the highest paid, news commentator.
Did MSNBC give a reason?
I can't tell you if they did, but basically, she calls them out and says that, axing non-white hosts, that feels undefensible, that MSNBC can't defend that. And we're talking about MSNBC. We're talking about the network that
We rely on.
And I was wondering why Rachel came back 5 days a week. Now I understand why. And there are a couple of other hosts that I'm thinking probably will also get the axe. When you think about Melbourne, he's, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Middle Eastern. And Mehdi Hassan is another one that covers a lot, which I haven't seen in a hot minute. And I'm just like, this is the network that also has Reverend, what's his name? Is it Al Sharpton?
That sounds right.
Is he the one? Oh God, now I have to.
I don't recall, so I ain't even.
Yeah, let's take a look. Yep, he's the one. He has his own show on MSNBC. I can tell you if MSNBC fires him, that's going to be huge. Because, I mean, we're talking about
He has
someone.
a huge following.
Not only does he have a huge following, I mean, this is one of the people that were there during, he's been in pivotal moments in American history as a leading reverend for the people. He knew Dr. Martin Luther King. He grew up with the whole civil rights movement, and it's going to be huge. I don't know. I think MSNBC has a huge, huge, huge PR crisis on their hands right now, and the fact that their top, host is calling them out on air on their very own airwaves is huge. It's huge.
Yeah, and you also have to think about the fact that like Joy Reid was fired, but then you have to think about everybody that supports her show. So you got the producers, you got the staffers, everybody that is supporting the show also losing jobs. And now we talk about, MAGA, Trump, creating the greatest economy. And what do we see right now? Layoffs.
Right. We're worried about illegal immigrants,
but not the unemployment rate or health care for people who can't afford it.
Right. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of the next bills that they try to introduce is the overturning of the Affordable Care Act, which is going to affect millions and millions of Americans all over. And you're right. You're starting to see a lot of like Republicans, oh my God, no, this is not good. You can't do this.
But it's not because it's because of the constituents they serve. And,
of course.
I mean, these town halls have been nuts.
You
saw the private security rip that woman out.
Yes. Like a doctor, no less.
Yeah. Oh, they're fucked.
Doctor, no less. It was pretty crazy. It's been pretty crazy.
And the sheriff in
the
that
shit show of what's still to come. I mean, it's gonna get worse, and I think he's gonna continue to push the envelope, and it's gonna get a lot worse.
Right.
A lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then like for example, the governor of Maine caused quite a stir when she went to the Ball of Governors in DC, and she in person confronted the president about about trans rights and trans individuals playing in sports,
cutting funds
in her state. And now that has happened and it made such a big news splash, the government actually launches an investigation into Maine hours after the Democratic governor stood up to Trump for bullying people. And so now, you know, he's talked about for the past 4 years how government was weaponized against him. He is taking retribution to the next level and using government to weaponize the government against people who oppose him. And it's crazy. You know?
Well, I mean, did you see that they threatened to, they started the investigation. And then she said, okay, you try to pull our funding, we're going to stop paying federal tax. And I was fucking floored. Like, if all of the blue states stopped paying federal tax.
California alone.
It would be huge.
Of course it would. California alone pumps more money.
If Maine did that, there would be a ripple effect.
Oh, of course. Of course. But, you know, the courts will. Oh,
eventually, yes. Yeah. But at the same time.
Speaking of money, right?
Wait, hold on. We're not done with this governor's ball. Did you guys see my post?
On what?
On Facebook. Hold on.
No. Okay. He's coming. He's giving us audio.
Oh, yes.
All right, so for those who don't know what that is, it's a song from Les Miserables, which was about the French Revolution.
Right.
And that was the militia. Right. Of the French Revolution, right? And they are singing a song about resistance.
But who's singing the song? That's the important factor.
The militia fighting against the government.
And this
play,
post,
but in the post,
it's being sung by the U.S. Army chorus.
Yes. Right. So what? But it had to have gone over a lot of people's heads because, like, if Trump put two and two together.
He would have lost his head.
He would have lost his fucking head. They're literally sitting there
I'm sure every single one of those chorus members has been dishonorably discharged already.
Maybe.
But it was a very poignant moment because it really just goes to show you there are members of the military right now walking into a military ball or excuse me, a governor's ball and playing the anthem for revolution and pushing back on tyranny. Mm-hmm. And that's the song that they chose to sing at the governor's ball that the president was hosting.
Mm-hmm. It almost felt to me like they were singing this song to implore the governors, and we're already seeing it,
right? To
implore the governors to stand on the right side of history,
right?
Because a lot of governors won't, right? A lot of people in this country won't right now. I don't think this country is on the right side of history right now. I mean, the fact that we saw America align with
Russia,
our enemies, not our allies, recently, that's just disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting to me. But this is such an iconic musical with such historic roots in a revolution, a civil revolution. Right. And that's what they're singing about. They're singing about standing up and fighting against a dictatorship.
I thought it was brilliant.
It was
because you know that
I watched it I don't know how many times.
Because you know that a lot of the Republicans that were sitting there probably had no idea where that song was from.
No.
Right?
Well,
some might.
But they may know that it's from Les Mis, but they may not
know what it stands for.
Or make the connection that's they're probably thinking because if you listen to it and you listen to the song and you think, okay, they're singing it on behalf of Trump, then okay, it's we're singing we're the people singing for this movement, right? This MAGA movement. But that is not the intention behind what they had done.
Right. Right. And it's clear. I mean, we obviously understand what Les Mis is all about. Yeah. Right? If
it was Jean Valjean's side singing to hear the people sing,
right?
In the play, then that would be a completely different story. But it was not. Right. It was the opposition.
Right. Which is great. And it's brilliant. And I love it. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that it happened. And these stupid fucks just
it almost felt like, in a way, it was like a warning. It's when tomorrow comes,
right.
The army is almost saying
yeah. I just hope here's my hope for the future. have your fucking 4 years, destroy as much as you fucking can, and then just disappear and go dig yourself under a rock and allow the country to heal and come out of it stronger than it has ever been. Mm-hmm. Because that's what needs to happen.
I'm just really worried about two things. I'm worried about voter tampering, gerrymandering,
right,
and I'm also really worried about if anything actually happens in the upper levels of government to overturn an 8-year limit.
Right. Well, I guess we will see. Right. And so again, as I said before, and I will continue to say, a lot of people are, oh my God, he wants a third term. He wants this, he wants that. And what we need to realize is that in order for him to get that, they have to do what is called a constitutional amendment.
Yeah. I mean, like,
and
executive order.
Yeah. Oh, he's trying. These
executive orders are insane.
Yes, they are.
Like, you cannot do that.
Right.
Like,
what? You know what I'm curious of right now?
Who's writing them?
Not only that, how many have been done prior to him to this?
Oh, this is the most a president has ever done in the first 100 days. I don't know if it's the most a president has ever done.
Right.
I think he's planning on running his entire term on executive orders.
Yeah. And you're seeing the lawsuits being filed. The ACLU is leading the charge. Governors are from blue states are leading the charge in filing lawsuits against this administration. You have individual agencies that are doing the same. For example, the San Francisco AIDS Foundation and other LGBTQ groups in that area are also bringing lawsuits against this administration for its anti-trans executive orders. You're seeing, for example, there was a judge who actually said, we're not going to allow this executive order to go into effect. So there's a lot of pushback. We're seeing that, but you're also seeing red states flex their muscle, right? You're seeing, for example, the Attorney General of Florida is suing Target still. It's February 21st. Target already removed DEI from its roster, right? And it suffered greatly for it. Billions of dollars lost so far, right? But you're seeing the Attorney General of Florida still targeting, anybody sues Target, who already pulled DEI, sues them for offering and selling products for LGBTQ plus youth. You're seeing, states introduce legislation to potentially overturn Obergefell versus Hodge. It's scary because currently the way it looks when you look at a map, you have a lot more red states than you do blue, but you have larger population centers in the blue states that will, how would I say, in a way, outweigh the majority of the states that you have that are red, right? So, for example, while you might have North Dakota, South Dakota, all these other states clustered on in one, they're all red. You could take the populations of 5 red states and they wouldn't equal the population of the city of New York or the city of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Right? So while you have more red states, you have blue states that have so much more people that would in effect, offset, and push back.
So by numbers.
By numbers, the blue states have it when it comes to people and individual people, voter power, right? But unfortunately, as we've seen in this election and then the one in 2016, we don't elect a president by popular vote. We do it through the electoral college.
We wouldn't have done it this time around either.
Exactly. Actually, we did. He did win the popular vote.
No, I know.
Right.
So we wouldn't have won the popular vote.
Right. And I think because, unfortunately, a lot of people stayed home, but we have more people in this country in blue states.
Yeah, but they have to get out and vote.
Yeah. And that was the issue that we had. And, I believe that, racism clearly played a role in people staying home. Some Latinos couldn't see themselves voting for a black woman. A lot of white people wouldn't see themselves voting for a black woman, even though Governor Walz was, Tim Walz was on the ticket, a white, man from middle America, coach. there was a lot of things that you can think about that potentially kept people home. But the majority, I think that the majority of it, I think, is sexism. People can't see themselves voting for a woman. We saw that with Hillary. We saw that with.
I also think there was some fucked up shit going on with those. Just the shit they've said,
right, and
publicly,
and there could be, right. There could have been some, intervention on Elon Musk's part in regards to voting and tabulating and blah whatnot. But we can't prove that, right?
I think that may come up down the road,
right. And so we really have to see how things play out at this point.
It just, what I'm really just struggling with. So I haven't spoken to anybody in my family in like 2 weeks.
Right.
Like 2 whole weeks. And I usually talk to most of my family on Sundays.
Right.
And I just can't bring myself to do it. And it's not that I am necessarily mad at them. I think what I'm struggling with is how far the buy-in has gone. Like, it's almost a disgust.
Right.
Like, the buy-in of supporting Elon Musk entering the treasury, transferring things to like a private server and all of that stuff, when all they could talk about was Hillary, private emails, Hillary.
Private server.
Yeah, all this shit. And I'm sitting to myself, like, this is fucking insane.
Right.
Like, they've lost it. They fucking lost it.
Yeah. And that's where we are today.
And the fact that they're sitting back watching this budget be passed,
right,
cutting potential school lunches for kids, funding for school lunches for kids who
they're targeting Social Security,
giving more money to billionaires,
right,
like cutting shit to give money to the rich.
Right.
Has nobody read Robin Hood?
Right.
I told you so.
So here's the thing. We'll talk about Social Security and also this boycott on buying anything on February 28th. We have to take a break. We will be right back. All right, ladies and gents, welcome back from the break. Thank you. We needed that. All right, before we went on break, we told you there's a couple of things that we wanted to discuss. One of them being the proposed blackout, what we would call the economic blackout that is scheduled to happen on February 28th, which is the last day of this month. So basically what it means is consumers are preparing for a 24-hour economic blackout on Friday, one of several boycotts planned by groups and consumers or activists to protest what they call corporate greed, companies that have rolled back on their diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, and also President Donald Trump's effort to eliminate federal DEI programs since taking office. On Friday, those groups are encouraging consumers not to spend any money anywhere for one day. And if they have to spend, let's say, there's an emergency, they're encouraging you to buy local, from local, vendors, whether that's a local grocery store or whatnot, but stay away from big box stores if possible. And basically the aim of this particular blackout on this Friday, is to send a warning and a message to these big corporations and let them know that, you know what, you might think you have power, but we're the consumer. Without our money, you're nothing. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying this for a very long time, that one of the biggest ways that you can impact and move voices and people is with your wallet, because the American consumer is one of the most prolific spenders globally, and drive, economies all over the world. And so this thing is actually spreading. And so I wanted to bring that up and talk about, what you believe. Do you believe that something like this, for example, Trish, let me ask you, do you believe that something like this would be beneficial in pushing back on companies that are rolling back DEI initiatives, and also, pushing for bills that benefit them but leave the consumer out to dry?
Yes and no. I think that if it actually works and people do it and don't show up on those days, it will be a huge statement, right? And you will see it at the bottom line. Also, I would say that I think it's already happening. I mean, you see Costco versus BJ's, and the lines at BJ's, it's insane in comparison to Costco.
Have you been to a Costco recently?
Or is it the opposite?
It's the opposite.
It's the opposite. BJ's is the bad one, right?
Yeah, I
don't go
avoid. Yeah, Costco is one of those companies that double down on DEI. And when I go, oh my God, you have to be strategic.
And then you look around like the opposite, right? The BJ's, and it's you see. I saw, an article the other day where it's like the store's empty, and then vice versa, the other store's packed. So I think in blue states we're already. A lot of people, especially the people of color in the blue states, are really doubling down already.
Right, and I don't know. I feel like that. If we can organize this and do it right, I think that corporate America will get a message. What about you, Jay? What are your thoughts on this initiative? Titties. I cannot with him. This is all he thinks about.
Titties. No.
But Costco's the one that sells my lube.
Does it? Wait.
I got
Costco's?
Yeah.
I get mine. I'm not going to say where I get mine because I might get attacked.
You might get attacked. I
get my lube at Tractor Supply. I'm kidding.
She needs it by the bucket full.
She's getting the bag bomb.
The bag bomb.
I get it by the truffle with the trussel full. They sell the metal truck. What are they called? What are they called? Troughs? The metal troughs.
Troughs.
I get it by the trough full.
I would put it faster.
Nope.
I hate you both. I really do.
And she drives down Wisteria Lane with the receipt hanging out the window.
The boys come a calling. So, anyways,
go for it.
No, I mean, and it's true, and I've told you guys before, I try to avoid some of the. I've been trying to avoid a lot of the news, and it's just unavoidable. It's everywhere.
Right.
But you do notice. I was shopping at certain areas that I shouldn't have been going to, but you can tell when you walk in,
right,
that the customer base has definitely gone down. And look at the impact to the economy. I mean, fucking eggs. Everybody's talking about eggs, right?
Right.
Oh,
it's cheaper to buy a fucking whole chicken than it is a dozen of eggs.
Well, they're expected to go up again. They're saying they're supposed to double again. And you know what's that, paying almost $25 fucking dollars for a fucking dozen eggs?
It's insane.
That's for that we moved to Alaska. Shit.
It's insane.
Think about Alaska. They already pay out the fucking nose for shit like that.
It's insane.
The good thing about Alaska is that a lot of people raise their own food.
Right.
So
I'm still waiting for you to show up. Let's build our chicken coop.
Yeah, well, it's his birthday today.
Whose birthday? Oh, Collins.
No, Fat Hen Farms.
Fat Hen.
Oh, chickadee boy.
Happy birthday.
Oh my God. I sent you a whistle nose
noise
from the bar. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's you're seeing the and you're talking about it. We're talking about it at home as well.
But let's talk semantics a little bit. I want to go into this whole chicken thing and eggs just very quickly. So you buy all these chickens, then you have to buy all the feed.
Yeah.
Then you have to buy the chicken coop. Then you have to sit there and guard your chickens from hawks and predators and blah whatnot. What is the average cost to keep the chickens alive? And does that outweigh the cost of the eggs? Like how much do you spend in caring for chickens?
Yeah. I mean, chickens you just feed. And if you get a movable runner, which most people can get, all you have to do is just relocate your chickens. Most runners do have covers. So and you gotta be smart. All right. So you can go to Tractor Supply, or you can go online and order a $6,000 or a $400 chicken coop, or you can make one for a fraction.
Have you seen the price of wood?
Yeah, but I mean, see, like me, I'm thinking out of the box.
Right.
My small camper is no longer something I can use on the road.
Right. So
I can convert that into a chicken coop easily.
right, and it'll be safe and
Secure.
So-
And then instead of buying a chicken run for $600, I can buy a dog kennel for a fraction of that
right.
and put a tarp over it.
Mm. So what it's saying here,
What is it saying, Trish?
Average expense?
yeah, the average expense of one chicken annually can be anywhere, depending on the breed
breed.
of chicken,
Right.
can be anywhere from $200 to $500
Dollars
annually
for one chicken.
for one chicken.
Okay, so now take that. Let's do some math.
Times 5?
Right. So you're going
Well,
to
let's say 6. I know we can do 6.
But
So-
now let's also take into the fact that chickens lay how many eggs per week?
They can lay between 2 and 3 every other day.
so it's $41 a month for each chicken.
Yeah. And eggs are about $11 right now.
Right. And so $41 a month for each chicken. Let's say the average person has 6 chickens. That's now $250 a month.
It can't be that expensive.
Right. If you're telling
Yeah,
me,
based on that I just think it's excessive, but
and that's
What-
not
I
including
think we
the-
need to bring a chicken expert on the show.
I think we need to.
we need
like,
to-
like we need to, yeah, because I really want it to make sense. Like, do I spend the $24 on a dozen of eggs, or do I want to wake up?
Never pay for eggs again and then gouge your neighbors.
So I can do that, right? No, but do I want to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go check the
Why?
water to make sure that it's not frozen because my chickens can't drink water on a night where it's like 12 degrees outside?
That's why you put heaters in there.
No, you would put heaters, but water still freezes, and you can't really insulate a chicken.
Yeah, but
coop.
there's ways around that. I think you also gotta take in consideration, right? What do we spend on our pets? Dog food.
Oh, those are my babies, though.
Yeah, but
I
dog
mean,
food.
I mean,
And they produce nothing
And they
but
produce
pain
nothing
and
but pee and
fucking-
shit. Exactly. That's my point.
so I mean, on
So,
average,
If you could eat
the food
damn
alone,
thing, it would
the
be a
food alone is
difference.
about $170 a month for my
month.
two my
Okay.
2 Yorkies.
Okay, so that's
That
and that's what
doesn't
I'm talking-
include treats. That doesn't include
vet visits
right.
at $600 a pop.
But keep in mind, you may have vet visits with chickens and stuff. If you're, I'm just snap neck and there you go. We have chicken soup.
Yeah. And that's the difference between chickens.
I can't snap my dog's neck.
No, that's the difference between chickens and regular household pets.
As much
Once
as I
the
want
chickens have
to,
served their purpose,
right?
that's the whole process. That's the whole viability of it. Not only do you have egg laying chickens, once they've run their course and they're no longer providing eggs, now you have a meal.
We're gonna have PETA coming for us, right?
Well.
PETA could kiss my ass.
They can sit on my dick and pat on my balls.
PETA does less for conservation than hunters do, and I know that for a fact. I'm an avid hunter. What we pay in fees for hunting fees for our licenses, and what we do for the system, the ecosystem, is way far exceeds what PETA does. You have these PETA morons buying tanks full of lobsters
We hit a
in
nerve.
restaurants, and then they go and dump them in fresh water and kill 200 fucking lobsters because that's how smart they are. But PETA's not. PETA's not something I would worry about at all. at all.
I mean, the idea of having chickens, yeah, it's great. Want to do it? However, it's work.
It's work.
It's work.
But that's part of. I mean, you have to put in labor. But at the end of the day,
for us fabulous gay boys, do we want to put in the labor? Is the question.
I mean, I've said it. I'm like, I think that
She'll show up in flip flops and grab a fucking shovel and then try, and then she'll be like, "No, I can't. I got shit on my toe."
No, I would commit to the. I love a fresh egg.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm game.
I'm not building the coop.
A handy homo can handle that.
You build the coop.
See, I have kennels at home that were repurposed into other things. I can always repurpose them again.
And when a house comes on sale on this, lane over here, maybe I'll buy something, and then you'll wake up in the morning, and I'll just be out there
in
looking
my
like
backyard, getting attacked by chickens. She's running all over the backyard.
Betty, get the fuck down!
Henrietta.
Don't start. Don't start. Not today.
What's his name? Matthew?
Yeah, that's what I'm like channeling right now. Not today, Henrietta.
Or you're going to hear his church throughout the whole neighborhood, like arguing with the chickens every morning. We have to get him a little pygmy goat.
I could hear
Tom be like out back. Tom, Henrietta's out. She's out. We have to get a hair tag for her.
Oh my God, I would totally get air tags for my chickens. Oh, God. But anywho, so
behave, soup. You will become soup.
I will make a really delicious soup out of your ass. You better be careful.
You better calm the fuck down or you can be dinner tonight, bitch.
So the question for the table is whether you agree that it might be effective or not. Would you be participating in the blackout on the 28th?
Which is Friday.
So obviously this blackout...
Does that include bills? Like, can I pay bills on Friday? Because I get paid on Friday.
So you have to only spend on essentials, emergencies, right? And so bills is fine. We're talking about supporting corporate businesses that have, for whatever reason, just started, going against the will of the people, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I probably won't spend any money.
Yeah. So no Amazon... No ordering movies on Apple TV or none of that. So you're going to just have to watch something you've already purchased. Okay.
There's a few good things going on there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, support local business. If you have to get medication or whatever, you need a quick local.
Local.
Go to your local, corner grocery store. Go to your bodega.
Yeah.
And buy something
Boricua.
there. Oh, morena. Puerto Rican. No. But that's the thing, so no Amazon, none of that,
Easy for me.
No going to Walmart, no going to Target. You can go to Costco. I mean, the Costco is they're up there. But no, Friday, I plan to participate because I want to see, I'm following and I want to see really how impactful this is and what message actually it sends to the corporate, world. Because, if this works, think about the change that we the people, right? Our preamble in the Constitution, we the people. Think of the change that we the people can make.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay? Will you be participating?
Easy peasy for me.
Yeah.
I rarely spend like that. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's not a hard takeaway.
Right.
And I think it's important that we start showing a united front from now.
Right.
And I think those small steps, even if it's not every single person,
right,
if enough people do it, it's going to show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to make an effect. And some of these companies will probably have to take a step back and reassess bullshit decisions they've made. But
you think about it. So the average day in America at the corporate level are billions of dollars. And if you talk about a blackout where people aren't spending money in corporate entities, we're talking about billions of dollars in revenue lost in one day. And okay, so you don't buy it today and then you go there tomorrow and buy it tomorrow. But maybe what this does is it actually wakens up people's consciousness in being able to be informed of what these corporations are doing and then choosing wiser decisions as to where to spend your money.
Shop local.
Right.
I mean, we push that every year. We push that every damn year. Shop local, eat local.
Right.
Why do the big chain stores?
Well, I mean, you're seeing it around the country right now with Tesla.
Yeah.
Right.
Not even the country.
All over the world. I mean, we have hedge funds dropping
45% decrease in their stock.
Yeah. Well, Europe didn't ban it because I was reading the info. They technically didn't ban the Tesla truck in Europe. They never approved it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have hedge funds and all these people pulling out of the stocks as well,
Right.
and that's
right. They're dropping the stock because of what he's doing and because of what he's proposing, and it goes to then the flip side of that. So here's another thing. Apple and T-Mobile are two companies that signed on to use Musk satellite system for you to be able to have a signal where there is no signal. As long as your phone can see the sky, you can send a text message. And they're using, I forgot what his network is called. And so Musk signed a contract with these companies to be able to do that. And so T-Mobile and Apple phones can do that now. If you're out in the woods somewhere, if your phone can see the sky, you have a signal and you can send text messages. Starlink. Right.
What was that movie where they had the system in space? Oh, fuck, what was it called? Never mind. This is pointless. Going down a different road. Anyway.
Yeah. So, for all of you out there, take this with a grain of salt. If you wish to participate, we encourage that you do. It is a test, right? To see what kind of message these...
Yeah, because they're planning a bigger one.
Right. And so hopefully we'll be able to make an impact and through our money, through our wallets, drive the change that we're hoping, or at least be the guardrail that currently our states and our agencies that are being decimated cannot be for the American people. Because in the end, it's about we the people. That's what the Constitution says. And, that's all I have. We mentioned Social Security, and all I'm going to say is I paid a lot of money this year, well over $15,000 in Social Security taxes.
Elon knows.
He knows.
Yeah,
and
I saw the email the other day.
For this individual and for this government and for this Congress to sit there and say that this is a huge expense for the government, we fund it. Social Security is a self-funded program. You're collecting taxes specifically for that, and that money should be used to allow those who qualify for Social Security to have that there. And by them attacking Social Security and trying to privatize or eliminate Social Security, what they're doing is basically taking money that they shouldn't be touching and trying to appropriate and use it for other things. And so when they sit there and tell you the lie that, Social Security is a big, burden on the taxpayers.
Handout, yeah. It's not a handout. It's money we've put in.
We've put into it. We put into it continuously, paycheck after paycheck. And so...
And we'll never see it.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I'm only 13 years away from retirement, so I don't know about you.
Oh, girl.
I'm ready.
I'm not going to make it.
I am ready. So, that was a doozy. Like I said, there's still room in the clown car.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of room in the clown car.
You jumping on?
In lighter news.
Do we have gay animals?
No, actually, this is not lighter news. I don't know if you all saw.
What?
And this happened... Well, this article came out today, but the Department of Homeland Security has eliminated policies preventing the investigation individuals groups solely based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Basically, at the end of the day, what they did was remove protections for individuals or groups, race, ethnicity, sex, religion, country of birth, nationality, and disability, based solely on the fact that there were protections in place so that the government can surveil individuals in marginalized communities just because they were a part of a marginalized community. Well, that does not exist anymore for the LGBTQ plus community. We could be under surveillance at any point for anything,
well,
just because we're a part of the LGBTQ plus community.
And we have this podcast. I mean, do you know we're a target?
Oh, 100%.
We're a target now. You know, the fact that we come on here and we talk, we speak our truth.
The only good thing is that our photos are from years ago. So I am not updating my headshot.
Where there's that, yeah, no, you would kill me if I ever updated your headshot. You was like, oh my God, that's when I looked the best. You're on your way though. You look fabulous.
So
you always look fabulous. But no, it's scary that this is where we're at, and the thing is, America's seeing it play out right in front of their eyes.
Mm-hmm. Mainly, I think what this is the government having the ability to identify members of the LGBTQ plus community specifically, and in doing so, it's a scary thought, right? Because then if you can identify, and with social media, with your phone, with whatever, right, you have access now to survey.
With all the sniffy logins. And,
right. And if you can identify, the Republicans are fucked, but if you can identify people within the LGBTQ plus community, you can target them.
Oh, of course.
And so in targeting them, you can then persecute them, right? And you can marginalize them, and you can use them as scapegoats, just like they're doing to the trans community. So basically, they gave themselves the ability above the law to identify people within our community.
Right.
With that information, I don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
We can assume.
Right. And I mean, one thing they're going to learn is we're a very big demographic. And, I've said this before on the show, and it's worth repeating, especially in times like this. The LGBTQ plus community, yes, the T is in there. So, because we're not going to let them erase our brothers and sisters in the trans community. The LGBTQ plus community has been one of the most successful, polarized group of individuals to fight the government, fight for liberty, fight for rights, and win. We went from Stonewall to marriage equality in less than 40 years. And it took other marginalized communities longer to be able to make such strides when it comes to civil liberties. So, interestingly enough, when you think about, oh my God, what is this gentleman's name? He was pivotal in When We Rise. He was one of the founders of all of these movements. Cleve Jones. Is it Cleve Jones?
It's been so long since I've seen that.
Oh my God! Hold on. I think it is. I follow him on Facebook. Let's see, Cleve. Yes, Cleve Jones. So Cleve Jones, if you don't know who he is, he's been a very pivotal person fighting along Harvey Milk and all of these other big monumental names in the LGBTQ plus community. He basically noted not too long ago that. He was a little disappointed in the current generation of LGBTQ plus community, because when shit like this started happening back in the 70s, 60s and 70s and 80s, they were on it. They were ready to go. They were fighting. They were protesting. They were doing their thing. And he's looking at this current generation as a little lazy because they didn't have to go through what it was that generation did, right? Our elders. And the struggle and the fight they had to go through to sort of kind of push back on the bigotry and on the blatant discrimination that the members of our community are seeing. And I'm saying, bravo, Cleve, bravo, because it's true. And so another message, if I may, to the youngsters in our community. Your freedom that you see today, your ability to walk into any bar, any space and feel safe and not have to resort to being in specific safe spaces like we did growing up, comes at the expense of the beatings and the protesting
and
the raids that occurred to people who came before you. And the arrests and the murders.
Yep.
Right. And
and looking at the current administration, if they continue to go the way they will, we may end up back at that junction
right.
once again.
Right.
Within the next 4 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Our rights are clearly,
so not only to worry about our podcast, you probably won't be able to go out and grab a drink in another fucking year,
Right.
without being prosecuted or
Right.
or attacked for it. So I mean, it's real. It's real.
Not too long ago in the state of New York, back in the 60s, if you were a member of the LGBTQ plus community, specifically gay, bi, transgender, or whatever, you were considered mentally ill. And therefore, you were not legally able to be served at a bar. That was the whole premise of them raiding the Stonewall Inn, right? Because it was illegal to serve anyone who was mentally ill alcohol. That's the pretense they used to actually raid Stonewall.
That doesn't seem unlikely that would be the case once again.
Hey, listen.
No, definitely
We're
not.
seeing those arguments play out in different states and in different, legislation that is being introduced. And they're starting with our trans community, but make no mistake, they're coming for all of us.
They would not literally, like I was saying, they would not, above board create this situation where they can survey our community if there wasn't alternative motives.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like oh, that'll never happen. All the MAGAs, all my family, all that'll never happen. Well, then why the fuck do they do it? Right. If it's never going to happen, why do they need the capability to do that?
Right. Yeah. So let me ask you one last question before we wrap it up, because we are over an hour at this point.
Okay.
If it came to you making the decision to get arrested to fight for your right to exist, would you?
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Yes?
Absolutely.
I will put myself in the front lines and get arrested if I have to. Because at this point, it's like I have lived a very significant portion of my life free, being able to do the things that I do as a human and share in the human experience without, well, not the majority of the time, without discrimination and having to fight for it. But I have to say the past 20 years for me have been very blissful. Yeah. And being able to be me and exist as a human on this earth. And I've been most fortunate than others. I get that. And, with who I am, with how I present, there's privilege with that. And other people in our community aren't as fortunate. But we really need to prepare ourselves for the eventuality and the possibility of saying, will we be willing to put ourselves on the front line and get arrested and potentially harmed for our rights to exist?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And ask yourselves those questions out there, especially those that are in red states.
It's not far-fetched with them pulling that whole mental illness bullshit again.
Right. How far are you willing to go to fight for the right to exist?
So, you got to be honest.
So, we shall see how things play out. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll continue to monitor things as they go and talk about, as we always do on the show, things that are important to our community, things that impact our community, and continue to bring to light for those who are not aware and those that are not informed of what the government is doing and what these states are doing that could potentially impact you directly. So, all right. Trish, I believe you are up, my dear, so I'm going to give you your love, as I always do. Yeah.
All right, everybody, here's Mama Kim's Minute. Number 1, Pedro Pascal calls out vile transphobia as he doubles down on trans allyship.
Bravo.
Number 2, right? Number 2, the first gay adoption was shrouded in secrecy. Now LGBTQ plus people give thousands of children's homes. Number 3, Montana tried to mandate that there are only 2 sexes. A judge called that a legal fiction.
Right.
Awesome.
Good, and good. Jay Bird?
All right, moving on to On This Day in Gay History. February 26th, the year was 1990, Washington, D.C. The U.S. Supreme Court effectively upholds the right of the American military to discharge gays and lesbians of the armed forces by refusing to consider the cases of Ben Shalom versus Stone and Woodward versus the U.S.
Right. This was back in 1990, right?
1990.
I think as a result of this is how we ended up with Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which was then overturned.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep.
All right.
All right, moving on to our announcements.
Let's do it.
If you love the show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as the episode is published. You can also support us on Patreon. With Patreon, your listeners can help to support the show with a pledged donation. The donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more. Trish?
Thank you. All right, everybody, get the Future Method and all other products today. All products are doctor developed, can clean out without hurting your bum, take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs, increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece glass dilation kit, and get all the information you need with Dr. G's new book, But Seriously. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessory today.
Yas, Queen. Jaybird.
Alrighty, it is time to put a rubber on it.
Oh.
It's been a while, but
It's been a while, but
take the advice.
might as well.
She's nasty.
Our show is available on our website, GayTalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, and Stitcher Radio. Nick?
All right, you can find us on social media. Facebook, GayTalk 2.0, Instagram, GayTalk 2.0. You can email us at GayTalk2.0 @GayTalk20.com.
I'll try not to fuck it up. All right, ladies and gents, thank you for joining us on tonight's episode. If you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website. Click on the Contact Us tab, which is located at the top of that web browser. There, you can leave comments. You can suggest topics. You can submit a question for the cast or an individual host. You can also call us and leave us any questions you may have via voice message. We can answer those questions for you on our show. Our phone number is 334-GAY-TALK. And if you need all of the digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget that we do stream live every Wednesday, and it can be accessed by our Patreon supporters the day of recording, everyone else the week after. Ladies and gents, thank you for joining us. That is our show, and y'all have a good night. Bye!
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.